We go again. Welcome back, or if you're new, we're back with episode 47. My name is Coach Perez. I'm a football coach. Here we discuss sports and everything else because I'm not only a football coach, but I'm somewhat of a thinker or a philosopher or whatever you want to call me. I'm many things. Okay? That being said, obviously, in the most humble way possible, we can move on. I'm a bit rusty. I haven't done this for 10 days now. Immediately you can tell because it feels very weird. As soon as you stop talking in front of the camera, it becomes very difficult to get back to it. It's not a natural thing to do. You just have a camera in front of you and you start talking. It's it is what it is. I signed up for it, so we take it and we move on. So now that my intro is out the way, without going into too many specifics, we can discuss what we need to discuss. I'm gonna start with I need to put my hands up. By the way, I'm not done with the intro. We need normally about 5-10 minutes to get going, to warm up, to get into it. After that, it's all smooth sailing. I usually try and do my best to put timestamps everywhere. What the topic is, what I'm talking about. Sometimes I don't do it, but most of the times I try and do it. Essentially, we start talking about sports and we move on into everything else. All right, that's going to be the case today. I'm first going to talk about the UFC 317. That was on Saturday. Okay, I was supposed to go live for the event. I couldn't. I got home too late. I was like, okay, let me just uh, have a nap, maybe a 20-minute nap. And I ended up waking up hours later. Unfortunately, sometimes it happens, even to the best of us. All right. So, what happened? I snapped my streak. I was too. I had a streak of 2 successful bets. Okay, I bet on Usman and some other fight. I got that right 2 weeks ago. Then the week before, I bet on Jamal Hill to get beat up. He did. I won again. And then this Saturday, I had a bet on Tuporia by KO. Got it in the bag. That was one. Second one was what was it? Uh, Van to beat Royval. Good. That's in the bag. And the third one, Moicano Dariush. And I bet on Renato Moicano. Moicano wants money. And he didn't get the money. Moicano let me down. Moicano let me down, my brother. And he told Dariush, motherfucker, I'm bolding, so I have a superiority over you, motherfucker. And he still lost. Motherfucker. How we can look at things is so I'm 2 out of 3 this week. Then the last 2 weeks I was 4 out of 4. So I am 6 out of 7 on my predictions. All right, we're gonna stick to this number and percentage from now on. All right, see where I end up. Let's say by Christmas. All right, I predict I'm gonna be high 80s, low 90% success. But let's see. Let's see if my prediction is right. It's very difficult, not difficult, very different feel to doing a Wednesday evening podcast compared to a Saturday afternoon. It's different vibes, but it doesn't matter. So what was interesting to talk about? What was interesting to talk about is Ilya knocking out Oliveira, which was obvious. I bet on a knockout. My prediction was maybe Oliveira gets to the second round, but he couldn't. He just not his fight IQ. He's a wild man, and he walked straight into the fire and he got knocked out. That was it was obvious that it's gonna happen. You can't just keep walking into Ilya Tuporia's range. You can't. What? I don't. I don't understand. Why would you do that? Walking like that with a tight high guard. Why? Walked into his range. Imagine you're 3 or 4 inches taller than your opponent or whatever, and he out jabs you. This is ridiculous. Your short opponent out jabs you. That's not good enough. That's just poor. Body, head, body, head, body, head. And then we have boom, the perfect 1-2. What beautiful 1-2. And then the hook on the way down was beautiful. That was beautiful. I'm not a fan of Topuria. I don't like his boxing heavy style. But that knockout was so perfect. It was just so beautiful to watch. It was the perfect shot, perfect setup. Just everything was perfect. Perfect KO. Something's got in my eye. Just beautiful to watch. Perfect timing. Just think about the timing, guys. Think about this. He jabs him. Oliveira takes a step back because of the jab to the body. Jabs to the head again. And the moment he steps forward, Tuporia steps forward and he meets him with a 1-2. Boom, boom. Now, why is this so? Why am I talking about this so much? Well, it was a 1-2. Well, because think about this. They're both moving forward at the same time, and the timing of your shot has to be so perfect so the shot does not end up just being this. It was a nice shot. He got it at the end of the shot. Because sometimes when you're too close, you can't really extend. You crowd your work, as some people say, and you can't really get the power because you just can get this. A 1-2 from here, I cannot extend. I cannot snap. But he met him just at the boom. It was such a perfect shot, perfect technique, perfect execution, just beautiful, beautiful to watch. Just that's why we watch, isn't it? That's what makes it beautiful. Obviously, before that, some good grappling exchanges as well from Topo. Just overall, just good. Expected though, expected. That's why he was such a massive odds favorite. If he wasn't, if it was a bit more of a 50-50, odds, I would have just bet on Topuria. I wouldn't have bet on Moicano and everyone else. Why? I would have just been happy to bet on Topuria because I even had to go out of my way to bet on Topuria knockout so I can kind of get an okay odds for it. But it is what it is. But listen, I talk about betting. Don't bet. Betting is difficult. I don't really bet. Okay. I've started betting on MMA here and there. But as you can see, I only bet on selected fights that I've seen both fighters. Okay. I have some knowledge of the fighters that are fighting. I'm not just betting. Let me see. Look at the odds. I've heard of this guy. I've heard. No. I've watched both fighters, and I am imagining or envisioning how the two particular styles would interact, and this is what I base my bet on. So it's more of a educated guess, you could say. I'm not just kind of out there just gambling. That's why I have quite a high success right? Like I'm betting on MMA, I'm up. I'm up. I'm significant. Yeah, I'm up. I win them. Why? Because I'm smart and you have to be careful. You can't be greedy. Okay? Don't go after the good odds. No, no. I know this fight is gonna. I have a very strong feeling or vision about this fight. Let me just bet on this, get my win, go again next week. That's been my mindset. I don't get greedy. That's why I keep winning and I keep getting them right. But obviously, this week snapped my streak, so we'll see. What's the next event? The next event is Whitaker and what was his name? Rene Derrida. That's a difficult one. We'll see. I'll have to think about it. But what's up, brother? Hope you're doing good. Yeah, I'm doing very well. Loop. Is that how I say your name? Loop. How are you doing? This beautiful Wednesday evening. Summer Wednesday evening. One question. What do you think is good weight for boxing? 180. Um, well, it depends. In combat sports, boxing, one of them, probably especially in boxing, they say you have a reach advantage, height and reach advantage. Okay, so ideally you want to use it. So if you're 180 tall, I would say at best you should be probably fighting at 70 kg if you're fighting. That's my opinion at least. Okay, that means probably you feel strong, walk around weight maybe like 75, 76. I think that's okay. I'm 183. When I was getting ready for my fight, I was kind of aiming to fight at 77. Okay, but that was in MMA. In boxing, yeah, I think 180 you can be even under 70 kilos because boxing is a lot about stamina. If you can have a lot of volume, pa 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 pa, just keep peppering. I think in boxing, the lighter you are, meaning the taller you are for your weight class, the easier it gets for you. Obviously, up to a certain level, because you can. It's very difficult to like getting past someone's jab, getting past a tall opponent's jab is no joke. Okay, it's not an easy thing to do. Imagine someone is like this much taller than you. Yeah, that's insane. I'm about to lose 10 kg then. What do you mean? What do you weigh now? Are you 80 then? But listen, it's different. It's one thing what weight is good for me to fight at, and it's another thing of what weight is good for me. You know, I'm 183 and my walk around weight is like 85, 86 kg. I would never fight at middleweight though. At 84, I feel like I'm gonna be too small. Okay, so if or when I'm fighting, I'll be looking to drop to 77. If you're about 86, well, yeah. So similar to me, but because in MMA you can kind of use it. You can use your you can have different attributes. You don't need to have the best jab. You don't need really to have much of a reach advantage. It's still an advantage, but let's say you're a bit thicker, you can just grapple. You out grapple the guy. That's good enough. But in boxing, if you're fat, out of shape, and you're short, you're gonna have a hard time unless you're the reincarnation of Mike Tyson. You know, it kind of is what it is. Imagine just having this in your face all the time. Some tall guy. It's hard. Yeah, you want to be at least like if you're consistently fighting against taller guys. I don't know. Maybe it depends on your style. Depends on what you like. I don't like this. I don't like. I'm not really a big fan of the idea take one to give one. You know, I like give one, don't take any if possible. Stick and move, you know, as they say. Pop, stick and move. Oh, you want to come and hit me? Boom, step back, cross. I like fighting at distance. This is what I enjoy. I enjoy movement. So this is my preference. Uh, you can see my preference in my opinions. But that's my personal preference. Like, is it cool when you see Tuporia going in there, short, just with his boxing heavy style, cutting the distance, cutting off the octagon, and finding the shot? Yeah, but he takes some shots. He carries it well. He takes it well, but he takes shots. But when he gives out, but when he hits you, it's not fun. But think about it though. Bivol, Dmitry Bivol, he's probably he kind of is my favorite boxer. He's like 182 free. He fights at 79 kg, and he doesn't look skinny. But if you think about it, a lot of the guys that he fights against, this is light heavyweight in boxing, 79 kg. They're all like half of them are kind of taller than him. No, let's see, guys. We might have issues here. Is my mic okay now? I don't. Oh no, it's not. It's gonna die again. Oh fuck that episode, mate. That's fucked. That's not good enough, is it? I think we're gonna cut this one short. I will continue this. I don't know when. Should I? What is my other options? We have a decision to make here. Yeah, it's okay, but it's gonna die. It's not okay. I'm not happy. Possible options: mess up the podcast, or continue. No, this podcast is fucked. This podcast. Oh no, it's not. Well, wait, guys. All problems can be fixed if you're smart enough. Watch. There we go. Is this on now? It is, isn't it? Yeah, we're all good. We're fine. Is it? It's on, isn't it? I'll have to do this podcast this way. Okay. That was a unexpected event, you know. Very rarely has this happened in my podcast. Not having the mic, the battery of the mic charged. That's not ideal. However, it's a good thing it happened because this podcast I was going to be talking, and I'm still going to be talking about, because we move past obstacles. We just we breeze through obstacles without easily. So this podcast was about decision making. As you saw, there was a moment here. I had to make a decision. You know, we had this decision tree. Cut the podcast short. Waste the 20 minutes I was talking about stuff, and I was actually just getting going. You know, I just got going. Cut this short. Mess up everything. My flow is dead, but we will resurrect it. Maybe I need to put it in the title or whatever. We're gonna fix it. But the podcast was going to be about decision making. I have had this obsession with decision making. I think this way it cut off. Yeah, not an obsession, but it's a developing, ongoing theme that I think about more and more. Is decision making the right decisions. Think about it. Your life is a sum of all your decisions you've ever made. Okay, everything that you've ever done, you've done it. Why? For there was a reason for you to do it, but you chose to do it. If that makes sense, whether you were forced or not, it was still a decision you made, and you something that you went with. Okay, so decision making. Your life is a sum of your decisions. Now, I read a book recently, and it really inspired me. It reinvigorated my interest in probably in decision making, because it showed me this new perspective that I wasn't thinking about. The book is called, I mentioned it in the last podcast, is called Thinking in Bets. Okay. Amazing book. What was special about the book? It was the perspective that it took. That life is like a poker. Life is like the game of poker. Why? Think about it. In life, in every decision that you make, you essentially bet on the future with every decision you make. Every decision is a bet on the future. You bet that something is going to happen. Yeah. Your hope, you can replace the word hope with bet, pretty much. So let me just check the Wi-Fi. It's all good. We're all good to go. We're all good. We fixed the problems. So every decision is a bet. You're hoping that something is going to work out a certain way in the future. Let's say, well, I'm a smoker. I smoke cigarettes, but whatever. So what does that mean in terms of bets? Well, I think that I can get away with stuff. I think that this is not going to come back to bite me, most likely. Potentially, or something along the lines. Now, the question is, where the interesting part is, what makes sense and what doesn't? What is actually a smart bet and what isn't? Okay, because the difficulty in recognizing whether we're making good or bad decisions in life, or good or bad bets is because sometimes you can make a good decision, you made the right choice given the circumstances, but then your result is, let's say, is not success. I failed. When you fail, people think, look, he was wrong. Why did he do this and this and this and that? Looking backwards, we start with hindsight, we start commenting. Oh, this wasn't good. He had to do this and this and that. Why did they give the penalty to this player? He's shit. He missed it. Blah, 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 blah. The coach is shit. Why did he give him the penalty? He should have given it to him or to her or to whoever. This is called, I think in the book they called it resulting. So you are judging the decision made based solely on the result. What is the problem with this? The problem is that in life, unlike in maths or in chess, you have an infinite amount of variables, right? Meaning, I can do everything perfect in most things. I can do absolutely everything can be perfect. But there are things that are outside of my control that I cannot possibly calculate or take into consideration. So that means that perfect decision is not going to have perfect result 10 out of 10 times. Does that make sense? Because you have all these variables, you have unknown values in every life equation, if you want to call it this way. So that makes it very similar to poker. I know a lot of people compare life to chess. This guy is a great strategist. He's playing chess, we're playing checkers or something along the lines, Chess. Chess is like the big game of strategist and intelligence and all that stuff. Well, yeah, but the difference is why chess is not like life is because on the chessboard you see everything. You've got everything. There is nothing is unknown there. There is no surprises there. Everything is in front of you if you can see it. Okay? Do you think the modern AIs can provide good help with decision making? That's a good question. Do I think AI can help with decision making? I think so, yeah. I think AI can help. However, the problem is again, AI is a tool. People use that tool. And the problem is that people make mistakes. Your AI cannot fix your mistakes because AI is just designed to help you. AI is not designed to kind of make you question yourself, or it's not designed to make you feel bad. If you think about it, when you talk to ChatGPT or whatever, it never disagrees with you. If it's absolutely forced to disagree with you, it's got to make it in the nicest, most subtle way possible. Okay? So if you speak to AI, let's say with your level of speech or ideas is like 100 IQ, AI is gonna reply with back with 100 IQ and make you feel smart, make you feel good, and just give you like become an echo chamber for you. Just confirm whatever you're thinking, because that's what it's supposed to be like, an assistant. So if you can use it properly, it can help you. But if you don't use it properly, it can just confuse you even more. So essentially, can it help you with decision making? Yes. For some people, I think it can make people that make good decisions, it can help them become a bit better. But people that are shit, it's not going to help them. Shit in terms of decision making. People that are they're too biased. They can't have this third person perspective. yet. AI cannot help you with this because it's just gonna confirm what you wanna hear and see. That's what it does. It's never gonna tell you. Go and tell ChatGPT. Tell ChatGPT. Listen, I was thinking maybe I should go for a run right now. I have to work out. And ChatGPT is gonna tell you, uh, yeah, it's a good idea. Go. I see the motivation. You're doing well. Not a lot of people are like you. It's not gonna telling you, singing your praises. It's not gonna say, hey, listen, leave the run for tomorrow. Going for a run now is not a good idea because it's 10 o'clock. Okay. And you want to go to bed soon. And you don't want to stimulate your nervous system and your muscles and whatever, get your heart rate up that close before going to bed potentially. So it doesn't make sense. Probably go for a run tomorrow. It's not gonna do that unless you ask him, uh, what do you think? But be honest. And then give it 5 or 10 prompts. Be honest, please. Be honest. Be critical. You know, when I talk to ChatGPT, I always, and I keep repeating to it the same thing. Be very critical and harsh. Be rude to me if necessary. Stop confirming everything I say. Okay? Stop just agreeing with everything I say. I keep repeating it every single time because I already, like, I know that most of the things I say make sense. I don't need to hear, yeah, 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 that's really good. Oh, yeah, that's genius. Yeah, I don't need to hear this. Why? I need to hear, listen. So, what I do actually is once every 2 weeks or once a month, like, I would give, no, I give consistently ChatGPT information about me. My ChatGPT knows a lot about me. I've told him a lot of things that are very important about me, what am I as a person, what I think about, blah blah blah, stuff like that. So every once a month, for maybe every 2 weeks, I actually did it yesterday. I go and I say, based on everything you know about me and everything that we've talked about, I need to hear your criticism about me, but be very harsh. Don't worry about hurting my feelings. You can't. Be very harsh and be very honest. And then I start listening to the criticism and I start thinking. So there are, I believe, possible ways for you to use AI to make you sharper, improve your decision making. Because to have good decision making, basically, what it basically comes down to is awareness. What are you aware of? Including, are you aware of the things that you're not aware of? Okay. So, can you kind of allow for them to exist somewhere, even if you don't know exactly what they are? Let's say you make a decision and you're like, I'm 100% sure about this. 100% sure. And then you go, is it 100%? Okay, a good decision maker is going to say, can this possibly be denied, or can something do you use ChatGPT for your job as a couch? By the way, it's spelled differently. Coach. You said couch. You imagine. Blah, blah, blah. I couldn't finish the question because they disappear so fucking quickly. The questions disappear so quickly. But essentially, you were asking me if I use ChatGPT to help me with my coaching. No, I don't. It's not really useful for football yet. Maybe it can help with a little bit of, let's say, data analysis. If you feed it all the data, you put it into it, potentially. But football is still an area that needs to be explored, and there's a lot of developments to be made. I don't, I don't see. I've tried to. I've tried. Maybe there are things that I'm missing potentially. I've tried, but it's just not very useful because it can. ChatGPT doesn't really understand football that well. It knows some stuff, but one, it's very difficult because football is not that structured. It's getting more and more structured as a field, as a, just as a field of whatever, of expertise, but it's not very it doesn't have a structured language. For example, when it's medicine, I can just ask ChatGPT, listen, I read a study about this and this. What do you think? Hello, Space Foxy. Hello, Space Foxy. How are you? That's a very interesting name. Uh, Space Foxy. Um, but yeah, football, the language that we use in football is not very refined. By the way, Space Foxy, if you have any questions, throw your questions in. But I'm happy for you joined in, said hello. Hopefully, ask us something unexpected. Sure, bro. Bro, why is your name Space Foxy? I don't understand this. But anyway, bro, the language in football is not very precise. You need precise language. You need to be able to make distinctions. For example, I can ask ChatGPT about. I was asking him about. I remember when me and you, when we argued about the best players, let's say in a certain position, I would ask him, give me the top 5 best players, best holding midfielders, and he would give me just a 5. One of them would be completely an outrageous pick. I would correct him, give him a bit of knowledge. Why are you picking this and this and this? This is not correct. Then he would change his choices. Give me a different 5. Maybe keep 2, get 3 out, replace them. Then he gives me a different, then different, then different. It's just not good enough. And again, agrees too much with you. No, I don't even. I've asked him once or twice about, let's say, for example, give me an idea of a session. It's not. It's just not good. It's not good. I think, yeah, once football starts developing more precise and universal language that we can use, then probably can be more useful. But until then, it's too vague. It's too much of an art, probably still. It's too complex. Football is very complex, to be fair. Think about it. Martial arts, are this is a complex topic. As much as it's simple, it's complex. But think about football. I think the complexity of football is underrated. It is. Think about, just meet some guy on the street and start explaining to him things about football. Okay, so you've got 11 players. We've got this rule, we've got that rule, we've got this. Essentially, you're trying to. Essentially, it's very simple. What if you feed in football books to choose trainings from? Potentially, I think ChatGPT could be useful with when you're doing long-term preparation, like training periodization. Maybe there. But if you feed in books, first of all, there is a thing, ChatGPT has got limited memory. So you can't give him too much information. I even started reading and asking about why does ChatGPT is only allowed to remember, I think, 100 things about you. 100 pieces of information. I was like, why? What if I buy the premium version? Can I have more? Because I want it to know more. Because the thing with ChatGPT is the more information, even the paid version, you can only remember 100 things, which is a bit disappointing. But it said it's a good explanation. It said it's for your own safety, privacy, and stuff like that. And obviously you can change if it by chance, if it remembers something that is not very significant, you just delete that memory and add a new one instead of it. But it's I wanted you to know, because the best thing about it is the more context ChatGPT has about your situation, about who you are and whatever, it tells us its answers to you, and it just can help you better. So it's a bit of a disappointment, but yeah, you can't really feed it books. Books. I think probably in the future when you have some fucking AI that is specialized to football, maybe then you can use it. But then again, think about it. There's so many different management styles in football. Even some people are very worried about tactics, but then you have different managers that not that worried about tactics, but they're excellent in man management. So let's say you use your chat GPT to help you prepare for a Champions League final. It's gonna give you a good, let's say, strategy to win. But what is he gonna do about like motivating your players? Chat GPT can never know what you can know as a person looking at your player. Is he ready? It's too difficult. It's too complex, football. I'm happy about it though. I'm very happy about it. I was thinking, maybe, robots and artificial intelligence are gonna take over soon. Football is not that complex, but then again, think about it. With everything else, not with everything else, but with most things, medicine, whatever, blah blah blah, when it's based more so about knowledge and interpreting information, well, I think there is already good AIs that are good at football. What do you mean? Like, FIFA? uh yeah, FIFA is a good, that's a good shout. I don't know how exactly the algorithm for FIFA works. But it's still it's different. It's different. You can feed it a couple of main, obviously these systems they use like us, probably for the most part, heuristics, which is essentially like rules of thumb, general things that you do and that you don't to make it easier for you to have success. Um, but yeah, no, it's not there yet, mate. It's not there. Because think about this is FIFA. This is a game. You in FIFA you remove the human element, but in football on the pitch, as much as you can know everything you want to know, there is this element of you have 22 people, 22 conscious beings on the pitch that you're working with. In FIFA, one thing controls the whole all 11. On the pitch, there is 11 separate entities. They have their own head. They make decisions by themselves. You can't control them. So that's what makes it complex. This is 22 people doing things, obviously, making decisions for themselves. Again, are they guided by what's happening? Yes. But it's 22 individuals. That's complex. What are your thoughts on Jon Jones retiring? Jon Jones retiring. That's a tough question. Um, I really wanted to see the fight. Um, I'm not happy with Jon Jones for retiring. I understand him. And I think for himself, he probably did the smart thing. Just retire. He doesn't need to fight Tom Aspinall. To be fair, if he fought Aspinall, although like Jon Jones is the villain in this situation, he didn't really do the right thing. But I would have wanted him to win. Because I have a thing about greatness. I love seeing greatness. I love watching greatness. So Jon Jones is great. He's a great fighter. He's the one of at worst all-time top 3 best fighters ever. So I wanted him to win. I wouldn't. Let's say if he lost. Let's say he fought someone else and lost. Let's say he lost to Pereira. I would have been okay, but not to Aspinall. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe tomorrow, I meet Aspinall and I wouldn't want to tell him this. That if he fought Jon Jones, I would have wanted Jon Jones to win. But I don't know. I don't. Tom Aspinall doesn't have the presence, the aura. I'm using the youngsters' vocabulary now to beat Jon Jones. He would have probably beat him if they fought. He would have probably beat him. It would have been heartbreaking, even for a bad guy like Jon Jones. But it's just, you know, I talked about this in probably the last podcast or the one before. You know, you get away with things when you're people are more willing to forgive you. Let's say if you're a beautiful woman, people are more willing to forgive you. Or if you're a powerful man, people are more willing to forgive you. Same with John. What's your opinion on the Club World Cup? So, just to finish this question, people are more willing to forgive you when you're a great, when you've achieved something very significant in your area. Is he the best human being? No. I'm willing to forget about this. Watch his fights and forget about this. Don't care. Beat Tom Aspinall. Is Tom Aspinall the guy to probably that we should be rooting for? Yeah. But I would be rooting for Jon Jones just because of what he's done. It's just that's unfair, but this is just that bias that I was talking about. Beauty bias in women, you know. Who here has had a very beautiful girlfriend? It's difficult to be angry at beautiful women or to hold a grudge against them. Because if you have this much objectivity, you look at them, you know, too good looking. Fuck can I do? You know, I feel like when I say it, I feel like it sounds weird, but then I know for a fact that it's not weird. It's a real thing. And if I'm the only one that thinks that way, then I feel like something's wrong with you guys. But anyway, I'm not gonna get into this. What I think about the Club World Cup, uh, I don't like it. I am not watching it. I'm not watching it. It's summer. Let them stop playing for a bit. It's too much. Stop playing. And I know some people saying they're getting paid so much, blah blah blah. They should, blah 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 blah. They should be playing every day. Oh, that's a bit of a caveman's mindset, I think. Even Stoichkov said it. They're complaining about playing, but they're not complaining about getting paid 20 million a year. Come on, mate. This is the old heads hating. And I'm anything but a defender of the new generation of football players. I don't like them. They're boring. They're not as good. They are very soft. Don't like anything about them. I don't like the new generation. But think about the athletes. Think about the profession. We're blaming football players for something that is out of their control. The fact that they make so much money. Well, what do you want them to do? Get offered a 200K a week contract and they say, you know what? That's too much, mate. You know, you keep it. Yeah. Help out the club. Yeah. You know that's not gonna happen. You might as well just give it to the players. Otherwise, he's gonna stay with the club, with the big £1 billion or dollar organization. You know, so you have to pay them. But then I don't want to see all these players injured. Also, think about people don't understand. They only look at the good side of being a football player. Think about the lifestyle. Think about this, especially the players playing in the Premier League. There is like a good amount of players play in the Premier League, play for good national teams. They're basically getting 2 weeks off a year. And it's not like, oh, 2 weeks off for the whole year, but they're living like kings. But they live like rich prisoners almost. They have the fame, yeah, they have the money. Do they have the freedom? What kind of freedom? Like, I'm not a big fan of the word freedom anyway. They have to go to bed a certain time. You can't just decide, you know what, I'm going to play FIFA all night today. Tomorrow you have to train against other professional athletes that live and breathe and die for this. You don't sleep one night, you don't go to bed on time, you're gonna be groggy the next day. You're not gonna be able to perform. It's so cutthroat. There's so much pressure, especially think about the players coming up from the academies, from let's say from the top academies in England. How much pressure is on them? Hey, if I make it as a player, the life of my whole family is changed. If I don't, I'm a failure. Nothing else I can do with my life. So much money on the line, is so much pressure, and again, the lifestyle is. I'm not making excuses for them. Is it still kind of easy if you think about it? Yeah, but compared to most people's lives, it's more difficult, even though they get paid a lot. People are gonna say, "I'll do that for 200K a week." I'm convinced a good 80-90% of the population cannot, do not have the discipline to go to bed on time every single day, train 6 times a week, play a game, run, recover, eat when you're told to eat, and what you're told to eat, work out when you're told to work out, and the way you are told to work out, say what you're told to say when you have to say it. You're almost like a slave. A slave. You know what I mean? There's so many, a lot of things you have to do. Like there is a price to pay. So I don't like the Club World Cup. I went off on a tangent here, but I'm not a fan of the Club World Cup. And too many tournaments make the big tournaments. I don't care as much about the big tournaments. Before, World Cup, oh my God. Now we've got Nations League, all that stuff. And I feel like there's a tournament every 6 months. I don't care about them as much now. But then again, why do I not care as much? Because I don't have. I'm not a fan of anyone. I'm not really into it that much because I don't care about the people playing. Because of the players, I don't see any players that really excite me, that I can get behind and become a fan again. I'm more of a professional now, professional. I am though. I I enjoy the game, the sport. I enjoy thinking about the sport. I enjoy being in there, making improvements, thinking of new ways to do this and to do that, or thinking of ways to explain technique, make players better, find new things that work, um, apply concepts from different fields or sports into football successfully. That's a difficult thing, and it's brilliant when it happens. You're like, wow, this is why I enjoy. I don't enjoy. Oh my God, we're playing this team tonight. I'm gonna make fun of my friends if we beat them. I don't really care about this. But if you put me on a pitch, I can stay on a pitch for 24 hours non-stop. If I walk past a park and I see a game, I want to watch it. I love the game. I love the sport. I don't love teams or players. Yeah, I'm a purist. You can say I'm a purist. I'm a hardcore now fan or whatever. I'm not one of the. I'm not a peasant. Yeah. Now, if you don't have any more questions, where was I at with my original topic? This podcast is going to be all over the place again. However, this is how we roll here. Chaos. Jon Jones, football, AI, decision making. Ili Aptoro. Top Toro, yeah. By the way, me holding the mic, I'm consistently doing this. I hope the sound has not been horrible. Um, about time I said that. 55 minutes in. Well, sorry if it was all over the place. I promise though, by episode 100, we're gonna improve these technical difficulties. We're gonna clear them up little by little. The thing is, as much as I enjoy this, I enjoy if you have a career-ending injury tomorrow, you can't do sports anymore. How do you adapt in the new situation? I've actually thought about this. What a question! It's a good question though. You found the right person to ask. What is going to help you through philosophy? This is what is gonna. I cannot. There is only one injury that I'm not yet prepared to deal with, which is that what they call a locked-in syndrome, which is basically you're paralyzed. You can feel, hear, and think, but you can't move. You're like this. So you can't communicate. That's the one. If I'm able to communicate in any way, shape, or form, I'll be fine. Even if I'm paralyzed tomorrow, and I can just stand still, but I can talk. That's good enough. At least I can read books and I'll be able to write books. So that's fine. The moment you're unable to communicate, this is when it gets difficult. So even let's say tomorrow, yeah, I get hit by a car. Obviously not any car, because any average car hits me, the car is totaled and I'm fine. Let's say Batmobile hits me tomorrow. Not even Batmobile. It has to be Superman's spaceship in order to cause at least a little bit of damage to me. So Superman's spaceship or whatever hits me. What's that going to do to me though? Anyway, Superman comes out and laser beams my leg off. Okay. So now I've got an amputated leg. Is this an outrageous thing to say on a podcast? No, it's not. It's fine. We're just hypotheticals, you know. If you can't deal with it, you can't deal with it. It's what it is. so this happens. This is a realistic scenario, by the way. It's probably happened somewhere else in the multiverse already, and that's how I know that it can happen. It's probably already happened. Anyway, and now I need to adjust to a new life with no leg. Is it gonna suck? Yeah, but then the thing, my lethal weapon. That once you internalize this one sentence and thought, it's just one sentence that changes everything, changes your life. I'm going to tell you the sentence in a second. It's just one sentence, but then probably for the sentence to really hit home, for you to really understand the sentence, I don't know, maybe you need to read a lot of books. The thing is, I had already read so many books, and once I heard this sentence, everything was like, oh my God, yes. It's like the biggest weight lifted off my shoulders. And I was already like very well versed in philosophy and in everything. And you know what the sentence was? It was from Seneca. Seneca, from ancient Rome, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers. And he said in a book, I think the book was on dying, it was called. Oh no, it was called How to Die, I think. It was a beautiful book. And he was like, this happens to me, or this happened to me, or my wife cheated on me, or people think bad of me, or whatever. What does that have to do with my character? Anything that happens to you, you just ask yourself, yeah, but what does that have to do with my character? That sentence has been so impactful for me personally. What does that have to do with anything that give from me anything? What does that have anything to do with my what does that have to do with my character? If the answer is like nothing, then basically why worry about it? Because think about the only thing that you truly have control over 100% is your character. That's the one thing you control 100%. Everything else is subject to external factors, external forces. I can have a family tomorrow, most beautiful family of all time. Something happens. My wife gets sick. My children get kidnapped. I can't control this. This is out of my control. I'll have to ask the question, what does that have to do with my character? The answer is, well, it's not my fault that this happened. Or hopefully it wouldn't be my fault. But then the second answer is, okay, what does have something to do with my character then? Well, my response to this situation has. Okay. So I'm gonna control my response. But it's just a shift of your perspective. It centers me again. Or the worst thing just happened to me. Okay. What does that have to do with my character? Or my girlfriend just left me. What does that have to do with my character? She clearly couldn't see something, but that something was there. And all I can control truly is what is there and what isn't. I can't even truly control whether I communicate it properly. I can try, but I can never know for a fact. I can never know for a fact whether what I'm telling you guys at the moment, whether you understand it the way I mean it, or you understand it 80%, or you understand the opposite of what I say. I don't know. The only thing that I can truly control is my intentions. That's it. What does that have to do with my? So that's how I deal with a career-ending injury. Although I don't have a career as a professional athlete, so few injuries can be career-ending for me as a coach. Has to be something where I cannot walk, or my leg is cut off. One of something like that. Is it possible? It's everything is possible. Is it likely? Not really. Not really. Yeah. What is? Yeah, I don't need to do a research of what is the most common leg amputation causes. Should I Google this? No. But I'm in the back of my head. I often do this. I prepare for scenarios that are so outrageously bad that I'm like, normal people. Normal sounds bad, but normal people would ask me, "Why would you do that? That's horrible, blah blah." It's just the way I am. I have to prepare. I think the moment I have something that I'm not prepared for, that thing is gonna control me. Trauma in your age. What? What do you mean trauma in your age? What does that mean? But yeah, I was saying until Goshko clarifies what he's talking about, trauma in your age. Um, let's say, what if it's diabetes? Amputation causes. So what if it's a disease? Is that what you mean? Same thing. What can I do? Just move forward. Can't spend time feeling sorry about myself. Is there things for me to fix? Things for me that I can do? Yes. If the answer is yes, I do them. If the answer is no, then I can't worry about them. It's like being worried about how tall you are. What can you do about it? It's just what it is. You know. If I got the diabetes, that would be bad. That would be very embarrassing for me. I don't think I can get it. Maybe I could, very unlikely. I can't allow myself to get to a point where I get it. Unless maybe I'm genetically predisposed and it just kind of happens without any symptoms or whatever. All of a sudden, it was just some. We're turning too dark here, 65 minutes in on a Wednesday evening. No point. Um, yeah. the mindset is, yeah, I was saying, I can't have things that I feel like I'm not prepared for, especially the bad ones. I feel like if I mentally keep pushing myself to these spots, not consistently, but every now and again, I have to go there mentally to a really bad place. Imagine things go really bad for me. Get there and start thinking, okay, where's my way out? How would I act here? Just so I know for myself, all right, listen, this I'm prepared. Okay. I'm not gonna be surprised. It'll be shit if this happens to me, but I thought about it. It's crossed my mind. I thought about it. I've tried to actually prepare at least mentally. I can't have this idea of me not being prepared for something. It's like something hitting me like that, boom, oh shit. And I'm like, what? I didn't even this never even crossed my mind. I can't have this. So I've went over the worst scenarios that can happen in your life. And I think at least listen, if they happen tomorrow, at least I thought about it. It's not gonna be completely a hit from the back, a stab in the back, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm kinda prepared for anything. I thought about people in your family dying, me getting injured, other people getting injured, all the worst things that can happen to you. I thought about it. So when it happens, I'll be kind of prepared. Is it a really bad thing to talk about? Yeah. But it gives you a certain level of calm when you're like, you know what? I went there. It sucks, but I went there. And if it happens, it happens. Ultimately, I don't have control over everything. So it's inevitable bad things are going to happen in life. They happen in everyone's lives. And yeah, they will continue to happen. So if you don't get ready for them, if you don't think that you have to prepare, to me, this is a bad decision. Are you prepared for good things too? You don't need to prepare for good things. Good things, everyone knows how to deal with good things. Don't need to prepare for them. What's your favorite film? Oh, Space Foxy with banger questions. Well done, Space Foxy. Although your name is questionable to say the least. Space Foxy. What is my favorite film? That's a tough question. I can give you maybe a top three. My top three favorite movies. In no particular order. I would say 300 is definitely in my top three. The Last Samurai is most likely in my top three. And The Dark Knight Rises probably is in my top three as well. That's probably my top three. But there is a couple more, like five more, that I cannot really. It's difficult for me to pick. But definitely 300. I can just give you another 25 movies that I really like and I can't put into. Interstellar is up there. I really like Interstellar. I've waited for this question a long time. Someone to ask me about movies because I'm somewhat of a movie critic. I have to admit, this is a little known fact. You're welcome. Thanks. I appreciate that, Space Foxy. You're moving up the ranks here on this channel. um, but your name is still Space Foxy. Anyway, I've probably been W. Yes, yes, sir. Um, Message retracted. Oh, for fuck's sake! What are you gonna send now? L. These kids nowadays. I've been to probably every single movie premiere of every even semi-significant movie for the last at least 3 or 4 years. Every single on Friday the movie comes out, I'm cinema. Friday is cinema. If I can't do it on Friday, Saturday, as soon as the movie is out, I'm there. I'm seeing it first. You can't catch me. To be fair, now the last 2 weeks I haven't really seen the two movies that just came out, F1 and Jurassic Park, which is very uncommon for me. I have two movies to catch up on. This never happens. Movie comes out, I've seen it. That's how it works. But yeah, I like Christopher Nolan's movies. I like they're complex. They're a bit more complex than the ordinary. But yeah, my favorite, questionable. The movie I've watched the most, to go back to your question, is 300. I know 300 is highly likely that I almost know it word for word. Almost know it word for word, which is insane. I've watched it probably over 50 times. I used to watch it almost every single week when I was young, when my parents would go out on a weekend and I will have to look after my brother. So I'm like, let's say I'm 10, he's 3. Obviously, me, the young adult at 10 years old, looking after my brother, normal thing. On a Saturday night, he's asleep, I'm in the other room watching movies, and there was DVDs back then. There was no Netflix. I feel so old saying this. Unc here was watching movies before Netflix. Fucking hell. So I must have watched it at 9 and 10 years old. I've watched 300 so many times. Yeah, it's probably been the most significant and influential movie to me. The Last Samurai has been very influential for me as well, because I was already into like samurai. The When I watched The Last Samurai, I watched it in 2019. They had already 3 years. I've been a fan of samurai. I've been reading about samurai and everything. And then I watched the movie. So I was like, oh my god, this is exact. You know, when you're itching and someone can exactly just your back is itching or whatever, and you can't reach it, but someone helps you out and just scratches exactly the spot that is fucking itching. That's what happens when I watch this movie. It was like the thing that I was missing. And it was so satisfying, because the moment I watched it, I was kind of almost like a broken man as well. And I could relate to what Nathan Ogrin, the main character, was going through so much. So The Last Samurai, I've watched it a lot of times as well. And then The Dark Knight Rises, not the one with the Joker, the one with Bane. Because to me, this is the peak story. You know, when it comes to, like, there is like uh, archetypal characters. Then you have, like, I don't know if archetypal is the right word, but like archetypal stories, just like, oh yeah, this is a story where the prince saves the princess and they live happily ever after. That's a kind of story. You can rinse it, reuse it, whatever, spin it in a different way, but that's basically the story. Well, The Dark Knight is it's a story of my favorite kind of story, which is like an old man or a broken man coming back for like one last time. I can't think of a better story than a story of like a comeback from almost from the dead, from making a return, making a comeback. Especially, I don't know what it is when it's someone that is a bit like older. Like when I watched Logan. Logan, that movie almost broke me. One of my favorite movies as well. Like Old Man Wolverine. Oh, and The Dark Knight Rises. When he made, when the scene, yeah, where he's in the pit, when he got thrown in the pit in the prison, and he's given up, and then he gets his back fixed and starts doing push-ups, and the guy's asking me, why Why build yourself back up? And he goes, because I can't let Gotham die without, with me in here. It's just that story. That's mate. The Dark Knight Rises. I love. I like superheroes anyway. Is the symbols, what they mean, what they represent, the story. Some people get caught up too much with, oh, superheroes shit is bullshit. What are you talking about? But yeah, that was my answer to favorite film. Anyone want to answer questions about movies anytime ever again? I'm very happy to talk about movies. That's a good little fun side quest for me because I'm a man of multiple interests. By the way, yeah, 76 minutes in, whoever is watching, you've shown uh, loyalty. So look at all these books. Yeah, these that's all comic books, right? So this is another just a side quest, side interest of mine. It's just I have too many interests. I don't have, yeah, I have too many things that I'm interested in and knowledgeable about. But it is what it is. That's why I have a podcast because I take in too much. Too much information comes in, and it's fun to share sometimes. What is this? Why am I turning into this into like a therapy session? I'm not doing this. No therapy. What do you mean? Men don't go to therapy. Only girls do. It's feminine. I almost retract this statement because in a couple of years' time, I might get pulled on it. So I was just joking. I was playing a character. This was not my real opinion on the topic, on the matter. All right, guys. Anyway, thanks for watching, listening, commenting, asking questions. I appreciate this. Um, we'll be back on Saturday. I know it's Wednesday, and I'll be back on Saturday. But I was forced to miss an episode, miss a week, miss a Saturday, which doesn't happen very often. It does not happen. But now we're back to standard procedure. So I'll be back on Saturday afternoon, probably like Saturday, like 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Um, join in, like, subscribe. No. But yeah, thanks for watching, listening, commenting, and everything else. And I'll be back on Saturday with episode 48. Thank you, and see you next week. Next in 4 days. Bye.